This is my second minimum % run. We start on GSI, and this time I get the battery at a different location, and we're going to head to a different shrine. This run and the route is inspired by a Redditor Global Trance and some strategies from Player 5, a speedrunner in the community. I did not realize how much of the map you can actually explore without triggering a percentage completion. So the main goal of this is to get fairies from a Lover's Pond and try to do it without the paraglider. I complete all the shrines without going to any of the caves on GSI, so I should have a very low completion rate. And now the Temple of Time is open, and we want to head towards Dueling Peaks. I pick up a rocket, and now we're on our way to Lover's Pond, trying to avoid named places. Come across this Black Hinox, so I pick up some Knight's weapons. And then we have the White Main Lynel in Farron. I am purposely down to 1 heart because we have Knight's weapons, which are going to do double damage when we are on 1 heart. That's the Desperate Strength perk. Now that this Lynel is down, we're going to have much stronger weapons to kill the Lynel in the depths. We then use a wing to try and continue getting to Lover's Pond without touching the ground, without activating any named places. So I just fly over them pretty much. And now we have a ton of fairies. I just need 3 to be able to safely get down to the chasm and head to the fight. I grab the fairies and decide to head towards Soka Point and grab some bananas, fight 2 Taluses to try and get some rubies. I was hoping to get a sapphire, I didn't get any. And then I take this route to the castle. So we're going on the right side and avoiding the Castletown ruins because again that would be a name place and we want to avoid getting that 0.04%. We've now made it to Hyrule Castle without triggering the castle ruins. Hyrule Castle itself and the chasm will count towards the location percentage completion. And we dive into the chasm. I have no paraglider, so I have a fairy, but I want to try and grab the wall and not use a fairy here. And I am actually successful. Since I already got Knight's weapons from the Black Hinox, I want to just get 1 Knight's halberd from these guys here. So I use a Keese wing that I had gotten just before this. On the other side I came back and attach it to my stick and shocked him, let him drop the weapon, picked up the Knight's halberd, and now I'm going to have that weapon. And it's time to deal with some more Keese, and then we're going to fight the White Lynel. I skip over that, it's the same as the previous fight. Make sure to get these Keese eyeballs. The electric Keese eyeballs are going to be very important for the Queen Gibdo fight later on during the boss rush of the army phase. We skip over the fight with the Lynel. It was pretty straightforward with Lynel weapons, and now we deal with the ice likes and the ice Keese. This room is extremely dangerous, but triple shot bow being on 1 heart on purpose as well is helpful. I'm doing double damage with the Knight's weapons, and of course fire fruit to the face, pretty simple. I'm killing them easily. We have amber from the Talus, so I'm able to destroy the ice axe very quickly and grab some shields from the chest. I now use recall to manage our fall as we go down. Reminder, I do not have a paraglider at this point, so it's very important. If I don't use recall, the rock is going to leave me and I will be further up in there and I'll fall to my death. So that is why I use recall to stall your fall. And now we have to deal with a black Lizalfos and a silver Lizalfos. And these horns are going to be very important. In particular, the silver Lizalfos horn I'm going to fuse to my royal broadsword, because royal weapons are going to do double damage during a flurry rush. One v one with an ice weapon is not fair, but I don't care. We need to make sure we survive. I think ice is broken in this game, but I love it with that 3x damage. And we're still on 1 heart. I am not healing because eventually I'm going to use a fairy and the fairy is going to heal me. So there's no point in wasting any gloom food. I make sure to grab the hydrant. I'm going to need this for the strategy I use when I'm fighting Mucktorok in the boss rush. I launch the plane across after freezing the Moblin with a Keese eyeball and knock him down into the pit with the gloom hands. I had a mighty zonite sword I picked up by the shield and I fused it with the cannon that was also there. I used that to break the wall and get the 10 bombs behind here. And my lucky day, I get a sapphire. A sapphire is going to come in extra handy and make the army fight much easier by fusing it to my shield. I easily deal with the silver Bokoblin that's on the way with an ice weapon, and we have 4 Gibdos. I'm able to obviously kill them very easily and take their Gibdo bones, and now we're ready to dive down to the army, where we'll be using 1 fairy for this section, and then we'll be using another fairy when we actually drop down to the army fight itself. After a few hours of trying without the paraglider, I gave up and just went back to Lookout Landing. So I get the paraglider, and since I'm here, I might as well just go and buy the armor, because there's no additional percentage within Lookout Landing for opening emergency shelter or going to the shop. They automatically include it. So this adds a massive hit to my percentage completion, but I'm hoping to still come in below the first one that was 2.56 or somewhere like that. We stop by the first gatehouse because I have to speak to Captain Maz, so that's an added location. But guess what? There's a soldier's broadsword here, which means I don't have to pick one up during the Bokoblin fight. This weapon is going to be very important in the Siege Construct fight because you're going to be doing spin attacks, and soldiers' weapons have a quick charge for spin attack. We now have the paraglider. I launched from the tower in order to get towards the castle. I now know that was a mistake from a percentage standpoint, but in this run I did do it. Pop the wing, and now we are heading right back to the fight. Much easier to get there because we have the paraglider. When I returned to Lookout Landing for the paraglider, I had reloaded a save from before I had used most of the fairies, so I still had at least 2 fairies going into the army fight. They might come in handy in the boss rush or against Ganon, you never know. Since I had killed those 2 battle Taluses, I had quite a few rubies, so my number 1 priority was getting through the first army fight, the Bokoblins. They are very annoying, their numbers are huge, and so it was just time to nuke them. It is so much fun to use gems to kill mobs in this game. I didn't really care about the arrows because I had slept between Lookout Landing and GSI to keep buying arrows from mobs over a few days, and so I had more than enough arrows going in. The priority now I was ensuring that I picked up any decent fuses that were available. So make sure that we get those done. And then of course it's 1v1 with a nice weapon. So this guy is just a waste of time. He's easy in this 1v1. And now we're going to be moving on to the Lizalfos. I want to have my items set up for the start, so I'm going to equip my bomb shield and I'm going to have a one-handed weapon, because when I pull out the two-handed weapon I do not have a shield, and these Lizalfos love the spit, which does gloom damage. So at the start I want to do a shield jump straight down. It picks up a bokoblin horn, but I'm able to do the jump. I'm too close to use the rubies, so I use a bomb to take out the first group. Kill this guy on the left. That archer on the left is always a pain, so I need to take him out early. There was a spit behind me. I got so lucky that one missed me, but now it's just a matter of keeping the shield up and taking my time. Thanks to having that sapphire, I get to do this. I can just keep that shield up, and when I get attacked there's a high chance that one of these enemies is going to get frozen, and we're going to keep dwindling those numbers. The Lizalfos drop at least 2 royal halberds, and I want to fuse one to my soldier's sword, and that way the broadsword is now going to have significant reach when I do spin attacks against the siege construct. And that's all I want here. Sometimes I pick up the extra bow, but since I had killed 2 Lynel, I didn't need an extra bow at this point in time. The Gibdos are when I'm always the most overconfident, so settle myself. Royal bow, fire fruit. I need to shoot the one directly behind me first, then I need to turn to the right because the runners are closer on the right side. I'm using a dazzle fruit to slow them all down, and then I can pick them off without using any additional elemental shots. And now we should be fairly safe. I want the Gibdo wings more than anything else. The bones will be handy, but I want some wings to use against our flying friend Colgera. You know, for the Moblin fight, slow and lumbering, but they are still dangerous and they hit hard. I do actually want to take some hits because by the end of this fight I want to be at 1 heart before going into the marbled Gohma fight, and the Colgera fight tends to happen too quickly for me to get down to 1 heart. I don't want to be doing it during the Gohma fight, so while I'm fighting the Moblins I'm going to be glooming down and getting down to 1 heart because I'm going to be using Knight's weapons to deal damage to marbled Gohma and Mucktorok to speed up that fight. Remember, you get double damage when you're on that 1 heart. In this case, obviously, we're getting down slowly. The red enemies are fairly easy to kill. 1 hit, 1 bow to the face. Sometimes I use a one-handed weapon. In terms of, that's the one with the ice like, so I'll try to freeze them, but I decided to play it safe because I have a sapphire shield, so there's no need for me to risk it with a one-handed weapon. See, again, I go and get some gloom damage while I have time and bringing it down to 1 heart. I do not intend to use the knight's weapons against the Moblins, strictly for bosses, but it also makes it very dangerous because I do not have 1 hit protection, so I cannot afford to get hit by these guys. And now it's time for the bosses. Any death before completing Phantom Ganon is a reset for the army and we have to start all over. So we need to be very careful. I am on 1 heart, which also means that getting hit by Colgera or the tornadoes is an instant death. But I do have fairies to protect me. Colgera always has the same HP whenever you fight it, whether in the depths, at the end of a temple, or here in the boss rush. So very easy, you just need 2 arrows through each weak point. If you have a multi-shot bow, whether a duplex bow firing 2 shots or any triple shot bow, you just need 1 shot to get through there. So very easy, get the first phase done, we move it to the second phase, but now I do not have 1-shot protection, so any tornado can kill me. Thankfully the fairies will come in handy. Remember, the goal is to stay at 1 heart for the marbled Gohma fight, so this fairy is actually a bad thing. Yes, I can continue the run, but it healed me completely. A second hit got me back down to 1 heart. I decided to use a Keese eyeball. That was not where I was aiming, but I'll take it. It went through, so that's 1 down to the second weak point down, and now I need to get to the third one. Marbled Gohma has 2000 HP here, which is the same as if you had fought it as the 4th temple boss. So it's not its strongest, but it's still pretty high up there. And the whole point of this part now is to use a 2-handed weapon preferably. 2-handed weapons do more damage than it says in the UI. So I'm actually going to be doing slightly more damage. And of course I'm on 1 heart, so using the Knight's Claymore is going to give me double damage. It's going to be incredible. We can 1 cycle him for each phase. For phase 2, we don't even need recall. We're going to use Ultra Hand, immediately grab the exploding rock, tuck it neatly under its leg. It's almost designed perfectly to fit there. And then wait for the explosion to stun him. We ascend in and we just 1 cycle him again. Mucktorok is definitely the most annoying boss in the game because it runs away. It is funny the way it looks waddling around, but it's going to be important that I had this fire hydrant. So I'm going to use a hydrant on the shield, and we just need 1 bow. I don't need to do a lot of work there. I had an opal, the easiest thing to get in the game. So the opal is fused to one of my 1-handed weapons, and this way I can throw the opal water at him. He has 1950 HP here. If it was in the depths, he would have 2850 HP. So this is actually a significantly easier fight than if you fought him in the depths. Of course, there is no low gravity, so jumping over that wave is tough. Somehow I don't block all of the water wave with my hydrant, but we continue. So I made a mistake. I used another fairy. I have 1 fairy left. We get him down, and then we're going to just go to town with our knight's weapons. Again, we're staying preferably at 1 heart. I want it to be at 1 heart. The fairy healed me fully, so I switch weapons and I attack up food. Thank God I stopped and picked up those bananas near Lynel village. Phase 2 is a little trickier because he hops around after you stop him. So first priority is clearing some of the muck around me. I use a hydrant shield and then switch to my one-handed weapon with the opal and immediately launch 2 bubbles at him, and then we can wait. The goal is to fire a Keese eyeball which will be tracking him. Somehow that one misses, but I have enough Keese eyeballs. I get him down. We're going to run over, clear the muck, and now continue wailing away on him. He is now down, and it's time for Queen Gibdo, the hardest boss in the game, which actually is going to be surprisingly easy. She has 3178 HP in this fight. That's more than if you fought her in the depths. She would only have 2800 HP in the depths. So this is one of the harder fights in the game at this point in time. But Electric Keese Eyeball make quick work. 3 shots with a triple shot bow will stun her and get her down. And then we have her own little Gibdos. We're using their bones to fire it in her face and get her to phase 2 as quickly as possible. I pause quickly to get my rocket shield out because for the next phase I want to be able to launch as quickly as possible and not waste time switching to shields. When Queen Gibdo gets up to run after you, you want to be standing still first so she picks her spot and then run perpendicular to her path. She does not change paths once she's set on running in that direction. In the past, I would focus on taking out these mushrooms, but I decided on a different strategy that was faster. Launch into the air with a rocket, get bullet time, get her down while in the air, and then eat stamina food. I only have 1 wheel of stamina. So if I eat stamina food, I can have way more time in the air, and that means I can actually kill her before she hits the ground. She's stunned in the air, and that's it. She is dead. The Siege Construct is an easier fight here because there's no gloom on the ground, so you can fight it one-on-one. You don't need Minerals Construct. The main problem though is same health no matter when you fight it, so 20,000 HP. The point is to spin attack and knock it into the fence. So this is where the soldier's weapon that's fused to the royal halberd is going to be key. I have extra reach, and my charge attack is going to be much faster when charging. And let's go. I have a flame emitter on the shield. The flame emitter was from the Great Sky Island, so I've been holding on to that this whole time. I use a flame emitter to stun the construct and then do the spin attack, and I keep repeating that pattern. If it gets too far, I'm going to use a bow and shoot it with a fire fruit to stun it. The big problem and the biggest risk with the Siege Construct is when you're too far and you get there and it's not stunned, it's going to try and punch you by hitting the ground. If you do not have your shield up, you will probably die. If you have your shield up, you take no damage, you just get knocked onto the floor and you can continue fighting. Of course, having the flame emitter shield out is not ideal because I'm wasting it while it's swinging, so I tend not to pull it out. So let's see where that goes. For the second phase of the fight, the construct is going to launch into the air every other phase. So launch into the air, then it's going to be on the ground to attack me, and it's going to launch into the air again. So I'm using Keese Eyeball to bring it down, just in case I don't get the shot. I got greedy here. I went for the rocket. I saw the rocket fall. I want to use a rocket against Bantam Ganon. That was a mistake, and that's when I knew it was a mistake. And that only got down to 1 shot. I fall back into the fence. He did to me what I've been doing to him. and use my last fairy. It is now do or die. I need to finish the construct and then complete Phantom Ganon with no fairy, so I have a save point. That was tight, but I managed to make it in, and now we're going to be fighting Phantom Ganon. I did not need to use any Gloom Food to heal because the fairy healed me, and now we just need to be very smart. The key weapon to use here is going to be a royal weapon. I have my royal sword fused with that silver Lizalfos horn, and I've been holding on to and using as little as possible. And remember, double damage with Flurry Rush when you use a royal weapon. The goal is to get to phase 2 of the Phantom Ganon fight as quickly as possible, so I launch with the rocket that I just stole. I still have rubies left, so we just murk them. Ideally, you want to get them into the phase where they're using Gloom Bats. The bats do more damage than the swords or the spears, and I want to fuse at least one Gloom Bat to one of my royal weapons. We get to phase 2, we're now on the ground. They start with swords and you have the one guy in the middle that's going to be spreading gloom. So I'm going to be constantly checking the middle to see if there's the gloom spreader in place, and then try to hit him with a couple bow shots in the head to stop him from spreading gloom. And then it's time for flurry rushes and locking onto one at a time. Unfortunately, they don't fight fair. I still need to make sure this guy is pinged, and we go from there. I'm mostly running away and not attacking because I want them to switch to the bats. Now we have the gloom clubs and I can start killing them because I want at least one club. I pick up a club and put it in my inventory. I do not try to switch weapons and do a fuse right now. I need to stay alive and get to the next point where we get essentially a save point that we can always reset. It's really a reset point. I can't manually load that save, but it resets from there going forward. So staying alive is key. And we get him down, and now we can scavenge some gloom weapons. I tend to pick up a gloom sword as well. I prefer one-handed weapons against Ganon. And if you're down to one heart, gloom weapons can't kill you. They do no more gloom damage at one heart. So in case of an emergency where I can't heal, I'm going to switch to the gloom weapon. But we start off with our royal weapon fused to the gloom bat. And let's go to town on this gentleman. Each time I see this health bar, I just remember when my kids and I saw this for the first time. It was unbelievable. I'm sure you can relate to that moment in the game as well. Demon King Ganondorf is very aggressive in his first phase. He usually attacks first, which means I'm prepared for that flurry and can work on him from there. But this was extra aggressive. Somehow I managed to be prepared and get 2 quick flurry rushes on him. I'm holding down ZL as long as possible. I'm trying to lock onto him, but this Phantom decides to run in and get a piece of his action, but too bad. No action for you, sir. You are dead. Ganon just makes it so much easier for me. Thank you for the lift. Happy to share some Gibdo bones with you. Didn't just have them for Queen Gibdo. Enjoy. We got to phase 2 of this fight very easily. My palms are sweating, but I am up for the challenge. Let's go! I jump into the menu to remove the Hylian hood. At this point it really doesn't make a difference for mitigating damage. I just don't want to have to remember to take it off for the cutscene at the end. I purposely break the weapon against him because you get a double damage on breaking, and then I switch to a one-handed weapon. I do not intend to use it to hit him, but it just makes it so much easier to flurry rush because I can hold up my shield in case I mistime it. Then I switch in midair to my other weapon. This is a Knight's Halberd that's fused with that white main Lynel horn. Desperate Strength is active, so we're doing double damage. Just realized that I still had attack up food left, so I might as well eat the food right now. Eating that meal cancelled Desperate Strength, so it is what it is. Foolishly tried to pull out a horn to fuse to a Royal Sword. I did, but I gave up a heart container for that. It doesn't do damage to the rest of the hearts. I'm just now doing a 3-heart challenge instead of a 4-heart challenge. I am down to 1 heart, so Desperate Strength is now active. I'm not going to heal. I want to use my Knight's Halberd with that Lynel Saber Horn on it because it's going to be insane damage going in right now against him, and he's dead.